£55 million. That's the figure they're saying. Straight out with the facts in this video, guys, because Cleopatra coming at you. Who's the doctor they told you to go and see? That's right, Dr. FJP, bringing you the medicine for the nation. We're going to talk it out right now. Let's get straight into it. And the level of banter has been unreal. This is AI, of course, but what they're trying to say here is this would never happen in the army, would it? Can you imagine if they broken into an army base and tried to attack Apaches? No. Palestine Action knew the Royal Air Force were a soft spot, and they were absolutely right, of course. What's that, Tim? Have you got any memes?
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part. I didn't do fucking shit.
Yeah, banter aside, guys, this video is going to be full of it, you know what I mean? Because what happened at Brize Norton in Oxfordshire then was truly shocking. This is a strategic error that the Royal Air Force have made. And the fact that the ministry have allowed this to happen through underinvestment throughout the years is absolutely criminal. When I am king, I will put these people in jail. You do not realise the abuse I will hand out to people. It will be biblical. So jumping straight in then to a very left article. But look, even this left article leans right. Look at the top then. Ground News, guys. They're a sponsor of this channel. In the middle of it, I'm going to give you an advert. Please watch it. All right. It shows where your biases are. And as Englishmen, we want to make sure that we're coming at it from both angles. You know what I'm talking about. Costs of damage from Palestine Action attacks at Brize Norton will total at least £30 million. My goodness me. Right, damage caused to military aircraft infrastructure by two pro-Palestine activists last week will cost the defence industry at least £30 million. Right, they broke in, they damaged these aircraft. Right, we know they sprayed paint down the engine. The problem with spraying paint down engines is when the turbines in the centre, when the compressors at the front rotate, you get an imbalance in the shaft that can cause significant damage and actually destroy the engine itself. The attacks have cost the defence industry at least £30 million. It is feared that the damage caused to the engine of one aircraft may render it unsafe to use again and could cost £25 million to replace. These engines, they're kind of leased on a big deal. They can cost, as it says here, millions of pounds. They're not just made, they're not on a shelf like in Amazon. You can order a new engine, guys. You know what I'm saying? You got to kind of book the engine in advance. You know what I mean? It's got to get built. All that stuff gets put to get shipped across the seas, tested. It comes with all this kind of infrastructure itself. It's not easy to just put another engine in an aircraft because you need another one down the line that's been planned for. These things are what's called capital assets. As we know, there are 14 of these aircraft then in the Royal Air Force, these A330 Voyager aircraft at one any time. I think it's not. What's that? What's happening to Brize Norton, Tim? Is that, oh, let me talk to you about Brize. Let me talk to you about the feminisation of the British military. Do not adjust your TV sets if you watch this on the TV or your phone. This is actually a real story. This is RAF Brize Norton's website. I'm not even, this is RAF MOD UK, RAF Brize Norton News, Rainbow Crossing unveiled. I said this before, didn't I? I said, when we go down this line, guys, it's going to get worse. When you start putting women in command positions, especially women and men, by the way, that have no comprehensive tactical experience whatsoever, you will get people sidetracked with this nonsense of diversity. This is fundamentally the issue that we're having within the military at the moment. Now, this was back in 2023. This woman here is called Claire O'Grady. I know her husband, Pablo. Both lovely people, by the way, obviously completely sidetracked by this grifting nonsense. They told me this had nothing to do with diversity whatsoever. They honestly told me that. But if you look through this already, it's supporting the LGBTQ plus community and promoting diversity and inclusion. They actually lied to me. Well, actually wrote to me and said, this has nothing to do with diversity, Tim. I'll point you back to your own website, mate, back in 2023. They're putting children on this. This is what they're doing. They're coming for the kids. They're indoctrinating your children. Look, they're indoctrinating them at an early age. This is criminal to me. But obviously having one female station commander wasn't enough at RAF Brize Norton. So they put in another one, didn't they? Yeah, this is it. This is Louise Henton then, OBE, lots of arts degrees. This is the latest woman in charge then of Brize Norton. It just seems there's a massive push in the military right now that if you're a woman, you know what I mean, up you go that chain. Let's put you in a common purpose. Let's get you educated in the message. And let's get you up those ranks, shall we? And here's the fence that they apparently climbed over. It's not even 6 foot, is it really? Walked across the grass there. Why not just saunter? And they obviously went and damaged those aircraft. They're saying, oh, it's too expensive, Tim, to secure a perimeter of about 8 miles around Brize Norton. Tell you what, just buy a couple of people with some big dogs to walk around there. And on those dogs, just put some freaking laser beams on their heads. And apparently when they went across that piece of that grass area there, they used scooters, electric scooters to get across. That's what these activists did. Now, for a long time, I struggled to work out where they could have got the idea to have used those scooters. I don't know who could have pushed that idea to them. It's amazing to me. That's right, mate. The RAF actually told them how to do it. It's incredible, I know. A quick advert for Ground News, who sponsor this channel, luckily, because YouTube ain't giving me no money, fam. You know what I'm talking about. All the stories you'll find on the front page here that are current. However, you can search for stuff in the bar at the top. When you click on a story then, it will show you here, look, what's left-leaning, center, or right-leaning. It's a right-leaning story. Let's click on it. And then straight away, it gives you a summary at the top there. All the stories here, down there. You can even expand it for more articles if you want at the bottom. On the right here, it shows that there's 34 articles. There's 5 left, 14 right, and then there's 5 center. Below it then, the bias distribution shows that this is a right-leaning article. And you can see here, Fox News, Israel, all that kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying? Here, factuality, expand that. You can see which ones are more factually correct than others, and so you can see who owns it as well. Where are your biases in this? Click on the article if you want. You'll go straight to that website then, and at the top you can see there's a bar that drops down as well, again showing where these biases are. You can then look at left-leaning articles and right-leaning articles and not get sidetracked by the mainstream media. 40% off, thank me later. And as I said in the last video then, Louise is responsible for the administration of the base, and then there's a guy called Andy McIntyre responsible for the actual operations side, the command air wing he's called, you know what I mean? Now, the thing about Louise, though, you know how much I hate HR. You know, it's a creche for women, they say, isn't it, really? So let's have a look. It's joined in 2001, took command in 2024, served at RF stations in the UK, completed, obviously she has, because that's what you do, completed worldwide deployment stats, blah, 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 completed command and staff appointments in personnel, media, recruitment, programs and plans. I did a bit of plans. And human resources. Promoted a group captain in August 22. She was recently responsible for the delivery of the modernization of career management practices and protocol. You know, I just can't, as much as I think Louise is probably a lovely woman, what on earth are you doing running a base, mate? I just don't understand it. What are you doing? Where are the warfighters in the military now? Where are the warfighters? As I said here, station commander must be immediately removed. I said that when the RAF became preoccupied with rainbow crossings, this would be the result. I'm not lying, guys. This is them approaching an aircraft. Then it should be shot by this time. It should be shot. If you shoot, I mean, now Russia knows, China knows, Iran knows. Look at that, spraying straight into the engine. That engine's US now. That's unserviceable. You cannot fly with that. Drill holes and everything. I think they use the crowbar on a lot of this stuff, and infrastructure as well. Completely, this aircraft is, so it's a tactical asset. It refuels Typhoons. So here's the thing, look at them, shot, should be shot straight away. How can you not see thermal imaging cameras? How are they not triggered by AI that there are people on a pan space within a border that they should not be? Military command structures then have just become simply a place where you put bureaucrats to train them up, put them through common purpose, get them the message of diversity, get them up the ranks, and then you can pretty much do what you want to destroy this once great nation. Add women into the mix with their compassion and their acceptance, and this is what you get then, isn't it? Soft, suicidal empathy, driving the country into the ground. What you need is a proper strong man up there, or strong woman, but they need to be strong people. I'm not against women in the military. I'm against weak men who allow this, who say things like I said in that last video, that they want 30% women in the military by 2030. Men like Ben Wallace, the former Secretary of State for Defense, or in fact Mike Wigston wanting 40% women in the military, or in the Royal Air Force, sorry, and 20% minorities by 2030. This book here, The Feminization of the American Military, was sent to me. This book, I believe, is from the 90s. So they knew about it then. In the 90s, they knew what this was going to do to the American military. And it has done. And it's not just in the military where letting women get into these senior positions does us exceptional damage. Look at the story of Lorne Castle, the police officer who was sacked, I believe, from Dorset Police. He's actually just caught a criminal. He was out. He was sacked for using nasty words. And he just caught a criminal. This is a police officer who is no longer a police officer because he was sacked. And he's still doing police work. What is going on? And I'm going to leave you with the words of a woman who is calling this rubbish out. Before I do that, though, we seriously need to, as English men and English women, by the way, we need to seriously be looking very closely at our government. Now, sedition is not illegal. We can talk about it, all right? But if we do anything action-wise, then that is. Be very careful what you do. Long jail terms ahead, guys. We need to be clever. People say to me, but Tim, you don't have an answer, mate. You don't know what to do about it. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely, 100%, but we're thinking about it. Start thinking about what we can do about this. It's very, very important, because our Prime Minister is a communist. He has hatred for this country. Now, look, this is on someone's feed. I came up here. If you want to know how truly compromised our government is, read this. So Keir argued that while the actions were against the law, this is about someone that broke in, I believe, to an American airbase when he was a lawyer. They were justified because they were trying to stop the planes from committing war crimes. The act of vandalism committed at RAF Brize Norton is disgraceful. Our armed forces represent the very best of Britain and put their lives on the line for every day. It's our responsibility to support those who defend us. It's absolute lies. We know Starmer does not care. about he's trying to degrade the military, trying to degrade the police. We understand that. Let me leave you with this thing from a woman and we're done. And this woman speaks the truth, so she's going to tell us right now what happens when wars start. Women just run back to the kitchen. The toxic masculinity, we want that back now, please. She explains it a lot better than me. Let's hear what she has to say.
Anybody else noticing how the mention of war is causing gender ideology and feminism to just like basically evaporate? I saw a guy talking about how he's paying close attention to this war because he's wondering if people are going to start getting drafted and men have to be worried about that, you know, and women in the comments, like feminists are like, God forbid men have to do their duty. Now it's not toxic masculinity. When it comes to dying on a battlefield, we're all good with that. But any other time, it's this toxic masculinity. Like now it's God has a design. We are all created differently. Women can't do what men can do. Yeah, I guess when it's going to cost you your life, your ideologies change real quick.
Girlfriend dropping some truth bombs then. She needs to be on my show, doesn't she? You know what I'm talking about. Listen, there's obviously, we are sponsored, guys. You know what I'm talking about now. Trying to get paid a little bit of money, not much at all. YouTube doesn't like people like me. But up here, there's a link there. If you want to go and check your biases through something called Ground News, just click that link. All right, £7 a month, something like that. Just see who you're supporting and why you're supporting them. Guys, stay safe, and I mean that, okay? Fitness, family, finance, and fuel. Whack a bit of faith in there. Start leaning back into community. What does community mean to you? Pick up litter from the streets. It's not good enough to live somewhere that's full of rubbish when you're supposed to be an Englishman or an Englishwoman. You know what I'm talking about. Clean up your areas. Be proud of where you live. Your standards are the ones that you walk by. Those are the ones you accept. So don't accept rubbish on the street. Don't accept graffiti in your neighborhood. Don't accept people doing stupid stuff around you, all right? Step up or the country will fall down. Loving you always, guys. Tim Davies, Fast Jet Performance.